What is going on, everybody? My name is Japes. Welcome back to another episode in my path to power. Before we get into the episode, if you guys are looking to pick up any MSP or PSN cards, make sure to check out thegamekeys.co.uk. Or if FIFA coins are more your thing, check out justfifacoins.com. You can use the code Japes to get yourself a 5% discount on their instant delivery. So I wanted to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas, or if you're not celebrating Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm celebrating Christmas with my family today, and I posted on my Instagram yesterday. Yes, I have an Instagram. It is at AirJapes. If you guys would be interested in seeing a Christmas 3-pack, and the response was overwhelmingly yes. So that is exactly what you're getting. The first episode was the Fatal episode, which was out earlier, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And this will be the second episode of my Path to Power, and we'll have one more episode of a little something out later on today. So I mentioned in the last episode that I was struggling with this formation, and I wanted to switch it up a little bit. And I thought the problem, okay, I'll just change the variation of this 4-3-3, right? Move everybody back a little bit, keep those two CDMs to cut passing lanes and prevent the counter attack that I've been getting myself into. I'll leave my central midfielder, but maybe have him be more encouraged to get forward. And I can still have, the wingers that you might want to see in this squad. But you'll see how this episode goes. This is actually a pretty epic episode. There's some crazy stuff that goes on in here in the Merry Footmas Cup. And we'll get right away into the matches. This guy, No Era Penal, and he's got a really solid-looking little hybrid. It is a decent team. Nothing crazy, but everybody on that squad is a solid player on Ultimate Team. So when you see a team like this, chances are you're coming up against somebody who knows how to get the most out of their players on Ultimate Team. We're getting things started here somewhat early on in the match, and we are attacking. MNEK switching up the play over to Felipe Melo, plays a wonderful pass into Nani, and I thought, you know what, let's go ahead, let's have some fun with the skill moves. Sombrero flick, one of my favorites in the game, not very good control, drops to Inan, who is dropped in the box. And I thought this guy, it was funny that this guy's little abbreviation was NEP. I was like, oh, playing in a Nepenthes fanboy, but then I realized that No Era Penal is NEP, and that would make a lot more sense. So Inan dropped to the ground, and he's actually a pretty solid free kick taker as well. It's got Semikaya on as my default free kick taker just because I added him into the squad first, but we are going to switch it on over. And you see Diego's pretty decent, but Inan, 85 penalties, not too shabby if I do say so myself. For a central midfield player, that is pretty darn good. He's going to bury this one just up and over to the left. That is kind of my go-to penalty kick tactic at the moment. So this guy chops inside. You're going to see right here, or one chop outside, and just I guess I was expecting another skill or something. It was just a bizarre sequence, and he ended up with an easy finesse shot, and he's sitting there thinking, don't mind if I do. You should probably cover that, because as I know, and you guys do as well, Varela is right-footed. So we're 74th minute, and we get a counter attack. It's essentially 3-on-1 right now, with his outside backs recovering quickly to make it a 3-3, but Emenike going to slip free onside in the middle and lay it off to Diego. You better believe with a 35k pack on the line, we are going to lay that off if we have the opportunity to do so, and that is exactly what you are seeing on the screen. Diego, actually, I think a really overlooked player because of his lack of pace on Ultimate Team. He is 82 rated, which I'd be curious to see where that puts him in the overall, I guess, tier list of Brazilian attacking midfielders, because Brazil obviously has quite a few, but I don't think that many are rated high. I mean, I can think of Oscar at an 84, but I'm having trouble thinking beyond that. I really wish Lucas was still an attacking mid from PSG. That would just be brilliant. That would make, could you imagine having him in this 4-2-3-1 formation? That would just be brilliant. So I started playing around. I wasn't convinced with that last formation. I thought, all right, what can I do to change up the squad a little bit but keep it interesting? And I thought I'd like to keep Emenike because I think he's a good player. I can link him with Sal. And then I thought, Japes has an idea. Went out and picked up Wesley Sneijder, who you guys know I like for his set piece ability as well. And I went and picked up Robin van Persie, a player that you guys have been asking me to use. And I thought, sure, this squad, I can make a cool little hybrid. I'll put Van Persie up top, and I can go United players down the right, And it'll turn into a nice little squad. I had some success with a 4-1-2-1-2 at the start of the patch, so it should be a formation that I can play and have some success with. So we went out and picked up Raphael. Only Valencia left to go, so Nani's going to be replaced. It's too bad we don't have that Man U link with him. Otherwise, that would make it really, really easy. But this is the way the squad is looking, and everybody's on good chem. So I'm going to go ahead and change it up to what my instructions were before. Keep my strikers, have them get in behind. I think Cam, I left on balance this time. Everybody else we're going to put pretty balanced. I don't want my midfielders crashing into the box, so we'll keep them outside. Have Felipe Melo cut some passing lanes, and this should be A-okay. It's a decent-looking squad. I mean, pairing Emenike and Van Persie, that's sugar and spice if you've ever seen it. So I was optimistic. And this guy, another really nice, simple hybrid in a 4-1-2-1-2. And I was a little bit nervous. And he actually really, really was effective with Navas. I was a little skeptical of the Ander Herrera, but he's in there for the chemistry, and that's perfectly fine. David Silva would have been the obvious other option to go in there, but he might not have had the coins for the inform one, would be my guess. But he plays it through to Jovetic, who manages to tuck it under Muslera, who I thought was a good keeper, but in this Footmas Cup, he's just been debatable at best, a steaming pile of mediocrity. And just disappointing. But Emenike doing the hustle and the bustle, a little bit of extra pace to get free off of just a mistake by him. He misjudged Emenike's pace, and I was able to break free on there. Again, I misjudged the ball right there, and he does a little ball roll and beats Muslera. That is too easy of a goal to give up. 53rd minute. And he was doing a pretty good job shutting down my attack. I'd be lying if I said anything different, but that's part of the reason that I don't like the 4-1-2-1-2 isn't great for me. Or the attacking mid two striker formations aren't always great for me because I feel very, very structured in my attack. I don't feel like it leaves a lot of room for really nice possession play. And you can see how far back his back line is sitting on that park the bus life. But it's Raphael on a crazy overlapping run. The Brazilian saves the day, 66 minute, bringing us back level. And this match is 100% going to be going into extra time, and it went stalemate extra time, so we're on to penalties. And generally speaking, I'm pretty darn good at penalties. I do a pretty good job figuring people out and kind of guessing what they're going to end up doing. So first one, not such a good look. It was not a great penalty from him either. That's very, very savable. And here, I just held up too long with Robin Van Persie. Oh, clank off the bar. That is brutal. That is brutal because the keeper didn't even go the right direction. So at this point, you're beating yourself. You got to at least give yourself a chance. I thought he'd go back the same way. He didn't do that. So I'm down 2-1 now. Not a good look. I really need Wesley to step up. And I needed an unsavable penalty. So down two saves. I had to block this. And I didn't. And in my mind, at least, I had to block it. But at this point, it's do or die with Sal, where I actually have to score. And that's a nice penalty, getting into the side netting at the far post. So I needed saves, and I needed them bad. And I started to think I figured out what he was going for. Boom. Just like the first penalty. When people get in a situation where they just need one to get it, think back to what they did first. They go for it a lot of the times. You can see, if you go back and watch that Valencia penalty, I messed up on the power bar. And if you hold straight down the middle, even with the red kind of area of all the different places it can go, you'll still be able to put it on target. So just some food for thought if you mess it up. Wonderful penalty from Felipe Melo. That's the one you want to hit every time. But we did enough to block those two, and we've given ourselves a chance. And that time, I just forgot to hit up on the right stick. Otherwise, I would have been in front, which makes this so much more difficult when that happened. Oh, I was fuming with myself. I thought, I did so well to get back into this. Japes, please. Oh, yeah, give me that. I'm on to your reindeer games, and I'm into your head, and I think I'm feeling good about this. Nice little penalty over in the far corner, so he has to make this one to send himself through, and he puts it over the bar. So he beat himself in the end of it. Absolutely brutal. Reminds me of a time when actually my brother and I were playing in the state playoffs here in high school soccer, and my brother, unfortunate for him, put the 10th penalty over the bar, and it eliminated us. So I can tell you more about that story or some other of the footy stories that I have in future episodes if that's something you guys would be interested in. But that's where this episode is going to come to a close. We're moving on to the semifinals. That will be out either later today or tomorrow. So thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, a like, thumbs up is greatly appreciated. Other than that, my name is Japes, and I will catch you all next time.